whenever you guys are. We are live streaming now. This little show of ours, you know, we started out in a pool shed in Pine Grove. But we're not just some rinky-dink operation in some rinky-dink pool shed. We are Canada's only late-night talk show, people.
Yeah, we are.
I don't care what that juice mafia motherfucker what he has to say about it.
Suck our balls.
We're live from the Dutch Hall, damn it. And we are the greatest because we are the greatest band. And you know what? We got a good friend of our show. An old friend.
Yeah, we do. Shad.
He's like a warm blanket for the Dutch Hall crew, and I love him so much. It's Tyler Shazma, and I'm so happy to have him. We also have a super fan in-house, and we have a great keyboard player, as you can hear, as well as the best sound guy in the business to make us sound beautiful. I hope it's working.
The tunnel's rocking again.
But you know what, people?
It might be time to play. Sing the theme song, man.
There's only one way to get this thing started, boys.
How's that, Peter?
It's with my goddamn slap rattle. And with the theme song, boys.
Yeah, I'm your backdoor man. And if we can find this slap rattle, we get this fucking thing on, man.
That's okay, boys. We'll have to do it with a give me some egg shakers, we'll make it happen, or a tambourine or some goddamn. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, check it out.
Welcome, everybody, live from the Dutch Hall. We are Canada's only late-night podcast, and we are that way because we have the greatest band in late-night history. No, I'm going to say Canadian late-night history. Props to the roots, people.
Oh, jeez.
You're on your way. You're on your way. The Canadian late-night history, the Nocturnal Emissions, the greatest. The greatest. And this week they're stacked to the gills. Steve, the reluctant German, the ladies' favorite on lead guitar. Oh my goodness.
On fire.
We have on vocals tonight the sultry band leader of the Nocturnal Emissions, Michael Bowe, is here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, he's taken. And on rhythm guitar tonight is the guy that writes the music for this show. He's kind of the backbone of the show. I'm going to call him the backbone of the show tonight.
Pretty fucking weak backbone.
That's about right. That's about right, Bo.
It's a Polish backbone.
Dave the Rooster Charters is here. And on bass, the balls of the Nocturnal Emissions.
Yeah.
Whiskey Wes Hagens is back.
Look out, ladies.
And on drums for the opener, he's not only one of the best drummers I've ever met, he's also a great sound guy, and he's a really, really nice fellow. Please hire him if you can. Kev Belanger is here, everyone.
Hey, hey.
And we got
How you doing?
a great addition to keys tonight. We got Rick from Woodstock, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Superfan tonight is sitting sandwiched between our guest and our bartender. She requested to be next to Paul tonight because she couldn't come on without smelling the musk of Paul. Ashley LaPlante is here, everyone. And our guest tonight. Oh, wait. Who's that guy? I almost missed him.
You did?
That's my brother. That's our bartender. That's the director of Live from the Dutch Hall.
Holy fuck, folks.
He's the man behind the mouse. Paul Van Dyke is here. And our guest tonight. I'm so pleased to introduce him. He's from straight down the road in Otterville, Ontario, Canada. He's a long-time guest, a long-time friend of the Life from the Dutch Hall. He's a great comedian. He's a businessman. He's a filmmaker. He's a documentarian. He's a comic actor. He's a many things. He's my good buddy, Tyler Shazma, everyone. And me, you might be wondering who I am. Well, I'm the two-time President's Club Award winner.
That's two
God damn it.
What a man.
That's right, Dave. That's 2 times. I thought you did it again. Pete Van Dyke, the host of the show, everyone. Pete Van Dyke.
Hey.
2 times.
Let me wash myself in the applause of the fake crowd. I like to imagine that that out there listening to the show, is just a whole bunch of people just cheering at home,
They're driving just like uppercut pumping.
Whiskey West is here. Yeah, just cheering in their car. That's what I like to believe in my own head. That's what keeps me going week after week. The delusion of that. Everyone, I got to update you before we get started on this show. I got to update you on what's been going on. We've been doing a lot of things. We've been climbing up. We've been doing things to try to attract a broader audience. And what we've done is we've got a few new listeners, which we noticed from spikes in the listen to one show, and then they download like 100 episodes. Yeah. So it gives us a lot. We might break a record that we'll have the highest rated month in the last year and a half this month, depending on how this show does. And it's off to a great start. I thought it was great. Backdoor Man, a big jam. Did you guys all have fun?
That was
Yeah,
a great
man.
time.
You come, because you guys come on a Thursday night. You're trying to have a good time, and you got to jam with like a full fucking band. Isn't this the best?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was delightful.
You envision Nocturnal Emissions with Wes's face in it?
And Wes's face.
And Wes's face. As long as you put Wes's face on it, that's it. You know what? I have to get off topic here because I want to talk about what's going on the show, but I have to talk about Steve the Reluctant German.
Oh, shit.
I have to talk about Steve.
He has a musk, doesn't he?
Huh?
He has a musk of his own?
Musk.
I am unbelievably shocked at the musk that comes off of Steve the Reluctant German. This is something that we talk about the layers of this guy. Let's talk about the history of Steve the Reluctant German. For those who don't know, Steve shows up one day to drop his kid off for a birthday party and never went home. He's been here ever since. He lives
in the Dutch Hall.
He lives in the Dutch Hall and he hides under a bench here. And his kids have forgotten about him. No, Steve has showed up and he's been coming every week since, and he's been a great asset to the show. And it turns out he's a talented guitar player and a pretty nice guy sometimes. And but it turns out that you look at Steve unassumingly, and I don't know, I'm what they call a cisgender male. Shazma, a cisgender male, the worst kind of male there is. Just born with a dick and likes his own dick. I'm going through the whole thing with it. Oh, silly me. Whatever. I guess I'm a piece of shit now. Anyways, Steve, I'm talking about Steve here. Steve comes into the Dutch Hall. I don't understand because I'm a heterosexual, one of those cisgender males. I like girls. I like them. But I don't understand. I think I'm handsome. No girls like me. Steve goes out in public. Turns out there's some women that come to one of our shows. Not going to say who they are. I'm just going to go anonymous on this. We all know who they are. Yeah, we all know who they are. But they were talking to us out in the smoking area about they were playing a little game, these girls at their table, to say which one of these guys in the Nocturnal Emissions, if you had to like bang one of them, who would it be? And two of the girls in the group picked Steve the Reluctant German. Number one pick
Overall.
And not only did they do this, but they told Steve, once they saw him in the smoking area, they told him that this is what they picked him, right?
To his face.
I watched Steve's face light up like a kid on Christmas
He's just
morning.
getting red right now.
Oh, Steve loved it.
One
Because-
quarter boner.
Because you have to understand.
I sit beside him every Thursday.
Yeah. He does have sometimes some very impressive wood. I've noticed that. Sometimes it's the topics. You don't even know what topics are going to set him off. Sometimes you're just talking about things you think are unassuming, you know. You're just talking about, did you see the Golden Globes? What the hell was Ryan Seacrest wearing? And Steve's got a boner. You're like, what in the hell's going on? Anyways, no, I'm getting off topic here.
That's inside info.
That's inside info. Yeah. You should may have to pay for the special package.
Yeah,
Your
that's
Life
right.
in the
You gotta
Dutch
be a
Hall
shareholder
Plus.
for
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, cough him some money, you motherfuckers, before I tell you about Steve is like boner for Ryan Seacrest. So, anyway, Steve the Reluctant German, I wanted to say,
Yes.
he's a family man. And he's got a wife, and he loves his wife, right? He's got 4 daughters, 4.
4 daughters.
And Steve, how many of the, if you don't mind me saying, can I ask you a question? How many of those 4 daughters were planned?
1.
One, really? Which one? Did you tell them?
Oh yeah, they know.
Which one is planned?
I'm not gonna.
You're not going to tell me? Just because I'll tell her all the time?
Or the whole internet.
You're my
Or the
favorite,
whole
too.
internet forever.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, you know who it is. So 3 times you just planted deep because you liked it so much you
right.
couldn't pull out, right? It was just like a Now, how many times you get away with that? We're just like
A bunch.
a bunch?
I got a pretty good record. I
What's the
have,
percentage you think about pregnant versus non-pregnant? This is good for people to know. Listen to this show.
I have no idea how to gauge that.
Really? Because you plant deep so much?
So much.
Oh, it's probably a low percentage then.
Wow.
Go nuts, people. Cream pies all around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
send
Big
it.
Dutch. Odds are good. Roll the dice. No, my
You won't be there forever.
my point is, Steve, you're a married man. How long you been married for?
22 years this year.
You're fucking kidding me.
Well, we've been together for 22 years. We didn't get married till like 2009.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Tell
but
the
that doesn't
truth.
count. Half my kids were there. Like,
Okay. So what are you counting from then? Your first date?
it's like the first time we banged, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you count from?
Fair
In which
enough.
case,
That's a
my
good
wife
call.
and I have been married considerably longer. Sorry, Jane. But the white dress was bullshit.
Sorry, Papa.
Yeah. By the way, I do have to give a shout out to Andy and Kathy Petoskey, the parents of my bride, who donated a huge fucking bag of pepperettes
What up, Andy?
from their venison and pork. They got them made at VG's, and
Fantastic.
they delivered them. They said because they want the boys. They asked, "What do you guys like eating?" I go, "Mostly we eat pepperettes," and then they delivered a huge bag.
Perfect.
Great Hungarian people. And I said, "Is this from the Hungarian Hall?" And they go, "No, it's from Kathy and Andy Petoskey. If you're going to give a shout out, that's who it's to." So anyway, that's who it's to. My in-laws.
Beautiful hearts and nice smiles.
Yeah. But not only that, we got some from Rick from Woodstock today. We also got some delicious pepperettes and this bottle,
What?
which is yet to be unwrapped, right here. A nice LCBO bottle. So I'm going to take a guess. It's alcohol. Let's see what it is. Rolling it off like my buddy. Yeah.
Jim Beam there.
Oh, little Jim Beam, Kentucky Derby Straight Bourbon.
Toss that shit over here, man.
Oh, yeah, I can figure get a mustard sandwich. Roll it on there.
Get it in there, nice.
Where's that even come from?
I don't know either.
It's right over here behind the drum set. It's that deep voice.
I like those French fried taters. Yeah, we live next. We when we were in Burford, we lived when we lived in Dave's hometown. We had this guy next door. I don't know if I can tell this story. I don't know how to tell this story without offending Jane's family, but no, it's not. There was an elderly fellow that lived next door, and he had maybe some impairments mentally or whatever, you know. But he was strong as an ox, you know, like strong as an ox. I saw this guy climb they wouldn't let him use power tools because of his disability or whatever. But the guy wanted to cut down a limb of a tree. I saw him one day do it. I just sat there and watched him, you know, for like a long time. He, from my window, he took a ladder to the tree. He went up the ladder with like one of those like wooden saws, you know, like what the wood
You cut
handle,
a Christmas tree with? Oh, the wooden handle.
like one of those wood saws,
It's
like
the
you'd
floppy.
I think that's
like you
Just a
see hanging in
saw.
a shop, but nobody uses it because it's
A
shit.
saw.
Like a saw,
yeah,
like
a saw. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like one that people would play with,
saw.
like a saw.
Doesn't work at all, but it's a saw.
He went up the ladder with that and cut down a huge limb of the tree, and it fell to the ground. And then he like picked it up and just dragged it to the brush pile or whatever. It was huge. Like this guy's like in his 70s at the time, right? Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, I couldn't help but think I was living next door to Sling Blade all the time, especially because he had the shed in our backyard that was his shed that we couldn't use or whatever, and it was filled with like,
Blades?
yeah, essentially yes. Like I would rusty weapons, and sometimes he would just stare in our window.
I'll use this one on them.
I like Fred and your wife. And I know my oldest daughter looks a lot like him. That's all I gotta say. No, let's go on.
Was he Russian
Steven.
or
So
Ukrainian?
Steve, we're still
You're
talking
picking
about
on
Steve.
Steve, yeah.
Oh, good, good, good.
So Steve, you have 4 kids.
That's right.
You've been with your wife for 100 years, you said.
1,000 years, yeah.
And all of a sudden, you know, you love your wife. You're committed to your wife. You want
I'm
to.
actually sorry. I'm happy that you've brought this up.
Yes.
I talk to my wife. I'm very open with my wife about the things that I experience when I'm not by her side, and I talk to her specifically about all of the things that happen when you leave and you go out into the world. But I always come home to my wife, and I don't. I'm not playing around on my wife.
No, I'm not.
No.
Are you telling us or yourself?
I'm telling the public at large. If I don't say this on the air, my wife is going to kill me.
No. I'm saying it too, Steve, because it's true. I want to establish you as a good family man here because I want you to fit the mold of the person, of a lot of people out there who are listening to this program, washing dishes maybe, like your good friend Billy Slayman or whatever. I'm not saying anyone in particular, but like a guy listening to this show, married like you, and he's like thinking like, I don't know, my wife still thinks I'm a handsome man, you know, because you take it for granted. She has to bang you, right? She has to bang you.
That's right.
She has no choice because
There can be only one.
if she wants you to be monogamous, it's only fair that she has to like put up with lesser moves, right? Lesser than you would give to like a stranger or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
So but anyways, when you go out in public as an old married man committed to your wife, never looking for extracurricular pussy,
Yep.
and all of a sudden some girl, a young or not even like an attractive girl, and her friend who's also attractive says to you that she finds you handsome.
Yes.
Not only handsome, but ranks you number one.
Above Wes, Whiskey Wes Hagens, above Charters, of course. You know, everyone saw that coming. And then and above Michael Bowe too, who were the other two girls picked, I believe. I think in the
It's
group.
logical.
That
It's
makes
logical.
sense.
I bet you I wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, you're not considered probably.
I would have knocked it right out of
I
the
know,
park.
it's-
4 for 4.
Yeah. So I got to ask
They
our
would've gone
super
right
fan right now. Paul, can you give the mic to Ashley right now? I got to say, Ashley,
Yes.
I want you to play the same game as this girl played. The girls and their friends played at this show we were at, where you have
Okay.
to look at the Nocturnal Emissions tonight, the band,
Mm-hmm.
and which one out of all these dudes would you bang if you could only bang one?
Remember, we have a connection, Ashley.
Oh, Dave. Oh, Dave. Dude, I gotta say Michael Bowe. Oh my God.
Michael Bowe. The safe pick.
Why is that the safe pick?
Mike's
That's
just
what I
like-
was going to ask.
I think Mike's a safe pick because he's so he's a thoroughbred. Like he's handsome, he's fit.
They're all handsome, Pete.
Yeah, but Mike's more handsome.
No.
Yeah. Well,
What is it then?
what is it?
Number one.
What makes him number one? Was it because he sang? If Charter sang, would you bang Charter?
It's because I'm old and he's young. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is
I'm
actually.
old, he's young. He's my pick.
That's a good point, Ashley.
Sorry.
I understand that.
Sorry to all the rest.
Now,
Dave,
now
too
did
bad
you?
you didn't
that's
have
just a
daddy
great pick.
issues.
No, I have to ask another question now. This
Okay.
is part B of that question.
Okay.
If now we open it up to Rick from Woodstock and Kevin, the drummer,
Okay.
same answer. Kevin's younger.
I don't know. Kevin has really nice hair.
Thank you.
You definitely got me on that one.
I will. I can't comment about that, Pete.
Yeah, I'll say that's a yes. I'll take
don't
that
know.
as a huge yes.
I like the musician thing.
I have money.
Who said that?
That was Rick from Woodstock.
Rick from Woodstock wins.
all right.
Rick
Money
from
beats all.
Woodstock wins.
I just want and just to end this bit because that's a good way to end it. Steve, I just wanted to say it feels good, right?
It does. It's flattering.
It's flattering, right? It's flattering.
Steve, I would pick you too. I can't choose.
No, you did a good job.
I
You did
would
a
pick
great
you
job,
too.
Michael.
Yes.
You just got picked. You
I
must
know.
feel
I feel
good.
good. Yeah,
you
I feel good.
You
about
feel
myself.
good, right?
Yeah, sure.
Got picked.
And Kev got picked, and then Rick got picked. So like three of you feel good.
Dave
about
got picked too.
No, Charters didn't get picked.
Yeah, he did.
How? When did you bang Charters in that whole excursion? If we
At the
if we
start
roll
when
the
they-
tape
You know what?
back,
Charters was my partner in my first experience at the Dutch Hall. He
That's-
got picked.
that's true.
He
And
got
it-
picked.
She was ranking a group of one.
yeah.
No.
I think if we didn't go if we played Bang Mary Kill but in a different way, like if we went Bang Mary Kill, but you had to take everyone in the room and put them in either one of those categories. You had to either bang them, marry them, or kill them. But you didn't have to put them in all the categories. Like I bet you, Ashley would put you in a marry, and not bang. Is that true?
That's the question.
I'd put you in the kill.
That's fine. That's fair.
Yeah, Dave would be bang or marry.
Yeah, but which one? That's what I mean. It's got to be between bang or marry because that's what I knew you'd be one of those two with
Dave.
Dave, but I think married. He's a married type.
No, Dave would be marry. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
gonna be a good man.
100%.
You don't want to marry Bo.
No, Bo would be bang.
Bang.
Yeah.
Dave would be marry.
Hit
Yep,
it and quit it with
Thanks, Ty.
100%.
What about? This is pretty good. We're getting along.
100%.
I
You-
love having
Pete,
women in the Dutch Hall.
You'd be kill.
I know. I don't. I take it gladly. I take my responsibility as being kill.
But if you had
What-
to kill one of these musicians, which one would you kill?
Oh.
Ooh. Good question, Shaz. Good question. Bum, 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 bum.
Mike, after I banged him.
Good answer. All right, so we have to get
Praying
in.
Mantis style.
What is that?
Sorry, Mike.
Basic Instinct? Is that the movie?
Praying Mantis.
We got 2 quick topics to get into for this.
All right.
Should be 3, but we got to do these like trending topics. We still got to write a theme or some sort of jingle for them.
Okay.
But the first one, we'll get into it quick. It's a quick question. It's about politics. This is about the world of politics, which I find when I'm going to talk about the world of politics, I always go to a man that I know in the comedy world as being Mr. Politics, Tyler Shazma.
Yay!
Tyler Shazma, Mr. Politics.
Yes.
And the reason I bring this up is with Shaz is because one time I put him through like a whole politics episode. Remember that?
No, I've been on this show so many goddamn times.
Well, the one time I remember.
Three-quarters he doesn't
I
remember.
don't remember most of them.
The point is, this is one of the trending topics out there is that Oprah is now casting suspicion or doubt of whether or not she's going to run for president. She apparently said before the big Golden Globe speech that Oprah said that she was not going to run. It's not her cup of tea or whatever. If you want to say in particular, she said, blah, blah, blah. I've always felt very secure and confident with myself in knowing what I could do and what I could not. And so it's time. It's not something that interests me. I don't have the DNA for it, and that's for me. I don't think she means come in that particular article. But she did say that she didn't think it was her cup of tea to be president, you know? And, you know, when I think about Oprah, I think about an ultra-rich black woman in America, and I think who could relate to that and has a firm grip on politics other than Tyler Shazma.
Yep.
First guy that comes to my brain, Tyler Shazma. Shaz, you're the closest man I know to a rich black American woman.
I wish I had one to take care of me.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to be nestled by a big black woman, like 6'4", with big bosoms. When she'd give me a hug, she'd just say, like, God bless you, baby, and she'd just, like, snuggle me in her big bosoms, and I would just, like,
but
feel warm.
That's not Oprah.
No, Oprah's not that kind of girl. She's a driven woman. So, just like you, Shaz, driven. But you're not a woman. You're a man. And I don't know how black you are, but probably not that black.
I'm well versed in the world of black culture, though.
But let's play a game, Shaz, where you are, for this moment, Oprah Winfrey. You have all the luxuries of Oprah. You have all you know. All of a sudden, it was one of those like Kirk Cameron movies where you switch places with Oprah. And now for the
Let's play Oprah as me.
yeah, Oprah's you and you're Oprah. So you have the life of Oprah. You run an empire. You're rich as fuck. You don't worry about money anymore. You're just Oprah with all this like influence and power.
You got your own magazine.
Would the presidency of the United States interest you at all?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because what's Oprah going to do to fix things? Like, she's not going to be able to fix, like, as soon as they're like, oh, they shut the door and they're like, hey, there's aliens and the world's falling apart and you got to blow up half of it. Like,
Yeah.
she's not going to know what to do. She's like, I can't fix this with money.
No, I can inspire housewives to vote for me, but I can't like fix anything. I went to broadcast school, or something.
Like Oprah's like she's got a nice big kind heart, but
Yeah.
that's not gonna fix the world.
No, I don't. I think you might be right. Also, she's living the life. Like, she's going to go, she's going to put up with bullshit from everyone, everywhere, right? She's not going to be able to be Oprah herself. She's already, saying the speech at the Golden Globes where she wasn't even talking like herself. She's talking like some sort of Obama ripoff. And then she's got to be, scrutinize everything she does. And right now, everyone likes her. And now half those women are the opposite party. If they're Republican or whatever, they won't like her. Or now both sides like her because they're just housewives or whatever. And then that's only people that like Oprah.
But there should probably be a black female president, but it just shouldn't be Oprah,
No, maybe somebody that
Somebody that's
Aunt Jemima or
in
something,
politics.
Would you go with her?
or just or someone that's around,
She has been around a long time, Aunt Jemima. She ran a pretty good business.
Okay.
Trump did that too, right?
She would run a syrup company running the country would be better than the company that's running it now,
What?
It's run by a business, the whole United States. Trump's just a business,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Or I heard that somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, don't you think politicians are just the playing the part of the face of what's going on? Like Trudeau doesn't do anything. He speaks fluff to the camera, and everyone says how beautiful he is, and then they like his hair.
Yeah, it flows in the wind.
Trump's distracting people from what's going on behind the scenes with all his circus out front, but
And also his hair.
yeah, his hair. Every time a breeze catches it, they get a little picture of it. It's great. Are you bringing up the hair because of my horrible haircut?
No.
No, don't
Get a
do
bad
it.
haircut, Pete.
But
I wouldn't say a bad haircut. I say I got an over haircut. I think we got into a conversation and it made her just keep cutting until it turned into looking like charters over there. I was like, what? Oh.
what if you were Oprah?
Over.
If I was Oprah,
Yeah.
there's no fucking way I would run for president. It's the stupidest move ever. Same with Trump. What are you thinking, dude? You had a good life, and now you don't. Yeah.
You just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. What, you could talk shit, and nobody cared because you were just some rich guy banging porn stars and cheating on your wife or whatever you do.
But I think
pissing on Russians.
In his case, he just wants to say, I did it. Look what I did. You guys can all go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's all it was. Yeah. The guy he got made roasted by Obama at that press meeting or whatever, and he was just like, I'm gonna fucking show that guy I can do it.
Right.
And then he was like, oh God, I got this stupid job now.
Yeah.
That was the
I think
least
he
of
did
my
it
worries.
completely accidentally.
But I think that would happen to anyone. That would happen to Oprah too. She'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh
Yeah, yeah.
shit!
Yeah,
now
no.
I got this job, and I got to send out a drone strike to Siberia or somewhere where they don't want people." I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. But they just so now it's Oprah sent out a drone to kill a bunch of children somewhere. That's gonna be in a headline. She'd never want that on her name. She's got magazines and cars to give away and stuff.
Yeah. Why would she want to deal with hard stuff? She's gonna deal with fluff and
Being
everybody
loved.
feeling good about
If
yourself.
she took the 2.9 billion she's worth and took half of that and maybe gave it to people that need food or something, then but she could do that just on her own without being president. Why does she just do it without being president?
Yeah, I agree.
And then a bunch of billionaires start doing that, and they have a civil presidency.
Well, that's what Bill Gates is doing, right? He's giving he's convincing all these rich people like Warren Buffett and all these rich guys to give away your wealth. They don't, and Warren Buffett's rich as fuck, and he's like, I'm not giving any of my kids.
Yeah, fucking Margaritaville.
No, not Margaritaville. It's
Jimmy Buffett.
That's Jimmy Buffett. I think this is a different Buffett. Warren must be his dad.
Brothers. I always get those two mixed up.
That old chestnut.
One thing I got to talk about. This was sent to me, and the message beside it said, "This will be viral in 3 days," is what it said.
Whoa.
Viral in 3 days, not viral now. So Live from the Ditch Hall is ahead of the curve. We are ahead of it altogether, and it is cuckolding. There's an article that CNN is putting out saying cuckolding can be positive for some couples, studies say. Do you guys know what cuckolding is? Paul, do you know what cuckolding is?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, I'll explain it to you. Do you guys know what cuckolding is?
Thank you.
Like cock holding?
No, it has nothing to do with cock holding. Well, kind of. There is cock holding involved in cuckolding sometimes before you put it into
It's up to you.
You're holding someone else's cock and you're putting it into your wife's vagina. That would be a cuckolding move. Cock holding, cuckolding move. It says that it's when it's in our current political climate, the term cuck, C-U-C-K, cuck, short for cuck-servative, I don't even know if that's right, has become somewhat of an insult to the so-called alt-right, aimed at men as they view as spineless and emasculated. The slur has roots in the concept of cuckolding or having an adulterous partner. So if your committed partner is fucking somebody else and that excites you, or no, either way, even if it doesn't excite you, if your wife, Dave, my cousin, God bless her soul, a saint on earth, right, decides to go and get some sweet, huge cock and just keeps feeding it, you are a cuckolded bitch, right?
Oh, that makes me cuckold?
She made you.
Well, you watch.
No, I don't think you have to watch. I think just her doing it.
To allow it?
No, you don't even have to allow it. She does it behind your back. She made you a cuckold. That's why you would argue about it, right? That's why it would hurt your feelings, right? Because you didn't want to be a cuckold.
That's okay sometimes is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying a lot of times this article is saying like at one point it says in the States, it says right here, found that 58% of men and about a third of women fantasize about cuckolding. So 58%, that's almost like 60% of men fantasize about their like partner being banged by somebody else.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This is Americans, though, not Canadians. The study's an American study, but I don't know. I think it would be similar here in Canada. Shazma, you're a twisted motherfucker.
I've been called that.
Well, you're as close to a twisted motherfucker as you are Oprah. So
I like the term gentle pervert.
that is a good description of you, Shad.
Acceptable.
I like that one
Other
too.
than twisted motherfucker.
Just a little gentler.
Yeah, I go with gentle pervert too. So, Shaz, you're a gentle pervert. What's your views on cuckolding? What do you think about the issue?
It's gaining popularity. If you just read about it, I assume.
Yeah. I always find out last.
It's been around for a while, I guess.
Yeah. This is like when the guy says, "Can you understand?" But like I'm uptight about sex, right? Like I'm uptight about sex.
Yeah, I don't want anyone else around other than me and the person that's happening to,
Yeah.
are around. And like if you're the guy fucking a guy's wife,
Yeah.
well, some other dude, I guess her husband, watches.
Yeah.
And that's the best place to be in the scenario, I think, right?
You think so, right? But it would
Yeah,
be
you know,
weird.
I don't want to be the guy watching. I
No.
don't want to watch anyone fuck my wife.
But if you fucked your wife you fucked someone else's wife in front of that dude, that one weird. Could you keep a wood?
Yeah, I could fuck someone else's wife while some dude watched.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'd overthink it.
Unless the dude's
I'd be
gonna
like, what
hate
the-
you. The dude's hating you the whole time, probably, because you're
He's just
fucking his
judging
wife.
me and my fucking style and thinking he's better still or something.
No,
I'd
see,
I'd
like
be in
to
my
think
own
I'm
head about it,
better
you know.
than him. I'd like to think
The next thing you know, I got no erection and it's all over. And I'm just
Yeah, it
saying
doesn't.
I'm sorry.
But it is a popular thing, and just calling people a cuck now is good too.
Yeah, I
It
like that.
seems people like to do that now.
But it's a put down.
Well, yeah, you're saying that guy.
I'll
wanna
fuck your
wife.
girlfriend.
I'm saying this while I'm sitting next to your wife.
Yeah, it's a
really
good
making
end.
sweat drip down my back.
Yeah.
It's all hypothetical, by the way.
I think that's what it is more than anything else, Shaz. I think you're onto something because I think it's like you took away all these other things we used to be able to call each other. You know, we can't say the F word, the other F word now. When we used to say in the playground, nothing to do with being gay, but we call each other, you know, when you're being a sissy or whatever. Or even if we said you're being a girl, that's offensive to girls, and it's understandable. They can accomplish anything, blah, blah, blah. Oprah's great. Yeah. And then they have, and so they take the words away from you, you know?
Running out of words.
And now we go get a new one. Cuck.
Because that used to just be a porn category. Cuckold porn.
Yeah. Watch it. So you see a guy coming in, like you see him, like you haven't seen him in a while, Shaz. And all of a sudden, this guy comes back, and when you used to hang out with this dude, I'm making up imaginary dude, right? So you used to hang out with this dude, and he was like just a regular guy, and then he went away to the city, say, for a while, and then he comes back to Otterville or Norwich or whatever, and he's wearing like a scarf, and he's got like pointy shoes, and he's like talking about like brunching and stuff like that, and then you're like. You used to be able to call him the other F word or whatever, and then but you can't. But like now,
I almost did just now.
Yeah, but now you're like cuck, right? Like cuck will work for that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, you can.
I was thinking fruit would replace it, but that didn't take off.
No, fruit never took off.
It was an old one. I thought it would go. I like fruit.
Tried a lot. It had a long run.
You think so?
Fruit?
I used fruit for about 2-3 weeks.
That's it?
It didn't last long, no. There was no uptake on fruit.
I think you can still get away with sissy. Sissy's still you're just questioning someone's masculinity.
I think sissy is
which we should always do. I think the world wants us to quit questioning men. But we should always question men.
I don't know why we got to apologize for being a man, like for doing a manly thing. Like, because it seems okay. You know who tells me it's okay? Our listeners. In a segment we call Feedback, we got feedback.
We got feedback. It's feedback. Motherfucking feedback.
Welcome to Feedback. We got feedback. This week, our segment is brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Amazon. You know, we are getting paid, motherfuckers.
Woo!
Another check will be coming in the mail from Amazon for $120.
Oh, baby.
And 88 cents.
Is sweet.
Going right to equipment that is falling apart as we speak.
By the threads.
Yeah. Just hanging on by their fingernails. And tomorrow we should be getting a savior in new equipment, which we spent every single dime of Dutch Hall money.
So we need more.
Plus a bunch more, actually. I'm in the hole a bit now.
Help would be great.
So we really do appreciate it if you get some Amazon shopping to do. Go to our website, livefromthedutchhall.com. Shut off your ad blocker and click on our Amazon banner and do some of your Amazon shopping, and that money will come and help us pay our bills. And you know who else we got to thank is the good people at NORPAC.
The beef people.
Thank you, Michael. Our director was sleeping at the switch.
I was looking at cameras.
Just checking the screens.
NORPAC.
Beef people.
There you go, Paul. You're back in business. We just want to thank NORPAC. I hope you can see their logo in the corner there. How do you do this? Oh, you go like, wait, how do you do it? It's like the weather people. NORPAC. That one.
Yeah, you do look like a weatherman.
Yeah, there you go. I can point at the logo because we got it back this week. And we also have to thank Van Dyke Party Services.
Yep.
You know, the Oscar nominations were just announced.
What?
So you know what that means? I don't know what date it is, but coming up soon is the big Oscars, and that's a big deal for the entertainment industry. So what people do is they have Oscar parties.
What?
They get together, they talk about the dramatic movies that have existed this year, and they do like a pool, maybe, exchange a few dollars, look at the beautiful gowns that the women are wearing, and they sit together with their other friends who they all question each other's sexuality, and they talk about movies. And it's a great time, kinda.
What a bunch of losers.
Do you want to do that? Or do you want to have the best time of your entire goddamn, I'm going to say fucking life.
I'd rather have a good time.
Yeah. If you want to have a good time, what you got to do is send an email to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. And what you want to do is put in the subject line, Van Dyke Party Services, and we will send you between 5 and 29 Van Dyke first cousins in bright yellow jackets, and all it will cost you is $100 of cold hard cash, plus all of our expenses, which will be dear.
Oh, yes.
But you are guaranteed to have the time of your life. And if you're not 100% satisfied, we will return that $100. But those expenses have run through our bodies and potentially yours. Van Dyke Party Services.
Don't live your life in regret.
Brought to you by our good friends at Clean Flow.
What up, Clean Flow?
And, you know, as we're speaking of Clean Flow, I got to say, their support has been just fantastic.
A real
this whole,
leader.
Who came in today?
What?
Oh, who is here?
Whoa.
Please, this is El Grande Rustero Muscacos.
We got a
Please
real
just take a
guest
seat
here.
there, Rustero. Please take a seat.
Look who we got.
Oh, this is a real treat. Rustero, you're back again 2 weeks in a row. Can you hear me on the headphones with your Can you hear me on the headphones with your mask?
2 weeks? Fuck off.
Oh my goodness. Last week you were here. You were much trimmer.
Last week, that was bullshit.
What?
Last week was some imposter that was not El Grande Restero Muscacos.
What? It looked just like him.
Yeah, he had the same mask. It was unbelievable. The resemblance.
I could not believe when I saw the imposter. I had to come here from my home country of Mexico.
Really? You were in Mexico when you saw that?
Sí.
Yeah.
Sí, in Mexico. And I was filled with rage when I saw that. I was working out at the gym. My muscles were big and strong. I was watching on YouTube. I like the YouTube.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
So
YouTube
like
Live.
the imposter. He can go fuck himself.
Wow.
Yes. So what? How did you get here then? If you're in Mexico, you fly up?
Oh, it was a rough trek. I tried to cross the border. You know, the new president.
Is there a wall?
America,
The wall.
Yeah,
You had to
Mr.
get over
Trump.
the wall.
that fucker. He's building walls. He's
Yeah.
building walls around my country.
Yeah.
I went to the border at my usual crossing point, and there's a new fence. Iron bars. My big muscles couldn't fit through.
You couldn't get through the wall. So how did you get? How do you solve your problem? Like how would you get through that predicament? Mr. Trump looks like he really fucked you over.
Last time I was here, you gave me a can of honey goo.
Oh yes, yes.
See? I sprayed the honey goo all over the fence, all over my big muscles. And I slipped right through the fence.
Whoa.
Oh, clean flow.
Thank you,
Great
Clean Flow.
product, honey goo.
Oh, great product. Well, do you
Here
have?
I am to avenge my title. Where is this imposter? I'll wrestle him right now.
Well, I got to tell you the truth. I did not get a good. I was really fooled. I thought you had went on a workout program, and your accent's always been suspect. It's never really sounded Mexican. You know, like you figure like if you're it wasn't even. It doesn't even sound like the last time you're.
Been to Mexico?
Yes, I've been to Mexico a couple times.
Not my town.
No, definitely not the.
Dialect.
Yeah, you must be from the. I actually have no idea. Have you seen like
I wear
like
the mask. No one has any idea.
Parts unknown.
parts unknown? El Resteros Muscacos. Well,
Would I like to come and join the party?
yes, and have you still
He
been
does.
David? Sorry, Resteros. Have you? El Resteros Muscacos. El Grande Resteros Muscacos. Do you believe that this imposter last week, if you say that it was not you, and I think of you as a man of your word, was this man, if I can find him for you, what will you do to him?
Oh, I'm working on a new finishing move from Mexico.
Yes.
I can't tell you what it is, but I will put it on him if I see him.
That is great
1, 2,
improv.
3, out.
Well, Rustero, we have a show to do. You can either stay or you can go. But I appreciate you coming in and straightening this thing out.
All the
Thank you
way.
very much to Clean Flow for helping this man
Slip through the wall.
sleep
Slip through the wall.
Mr. Trump's wall.
Woo.
And thank you very much for coming in over Saros. Now, where were we? Feedback?
Yeah, with Honeygoo.
Clean flows the best.
Oh, yeah, the last sponsor, Yarmy Electric,
Oh.
which we did get feedback from someone about Yarmy Electric. So that's feedback within the commercial. It reads like this. It's from Sparking Light Switch. Sparking Light Switch says, maybe if Mr. Yarmy would pull out once in a while, my house wouldn't burn down.
Oh, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, what
I got
fun's
one thing
that?
to say to you, lady, or man, whatever you are.
What fun's that?
I'm telling you, my cousin Derek Yarmy, he's got a different plan. There's so many people like you with sparking appliances and suspect wired homes and stuff like that.
Houses burning down.
Just worried because, I'm afraid of my family and pets dying and such. People dying. I'll tell you, my cousin, Derek Yarmy, and the proprietor of Yarmy Electric, this man decided that he has so much demand for his services that he thought it was more efficient to become the youngest ever fire chief of a volunteer fire department and just put out your fires than come and fix your electrical problems because he's got bigger fish to fry. And you know what else? He ain't pulling out for no man's money. This
Never.
man likes planting deep, and he likes making lots of babies. And that's what he does. And if you got a problem with that, then get somebody else because Yarmy Electric will get it right the first time. If we don't get it right the first time, we'll get it right the second time. If we don't get it right the second time,
You can go fuck yourself.
you heard me, lady.
It's Yarmy Electric.
This brings us to the segment of actual feedback. And we had tons this week. We had tons from listeners all over the place.
Thank you.
I did forget Shaz's plugs. Let's do them, Shaz. Do you have them available?
now, before
Whenever you got. Get
feedback?
them ready. Get them ready. We'll do them. We'll do them after this
I
feedback.
don't have a lot.
But I am at New Limburg next Wednesday. Oh, I'm actually in Brantford for 2 shows on Tuesday. So if you're in Brantford, Branttown, I'm on. Your glasses are ridiculous. And do you see him? He looks like those guys that you get if you go to like a novelty shop and you get the glasses that you can sleep like Jughead in the back of the classroom. No, that's his real.
That's his real dumb face.
Anyways, it's his real dumb face. What was I saying? Oh, I'm going to be in Brantford at the last show hosted by Melanie Crawford at Envy, and then to the Weed Lounge at Bramsterdam, hosted by Wally Warwick. I'll be on both those shows on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I'm hosting at New Limburg. Headliner Jason Allen. I think the Wise Guy is playing the music after. But anyways, that's it for the plugs. We got feedback on the on Facebook, and this is how it goes. It says, just wanted to shout out and say I've enjoyed watching you guys. I have a few thoughts and opinions to share. I grew up in Pine Grove. Knowing I can see what's going on in a pool shed there is way funny. Pine Grove was a place of constant shenanigans in the 80s and 90s. I feel you guys are keeping the Pine Grove legacy going. I was getting a bit dry. I just want to say hello to Paul.
Whoa.
It's been a long time. That's how she said it, too. She goes, make sure, it's in brackets, make sure you say it real sexy. It's been a long time. Your preferences to local people and events in the area like the Adcocks, who are the mayors of Pine Grove?
Goddamn right there.
I don't care if there's an election or not. They're my mayors. I put them right up
They're
top.
the mayor.
Makes it relatable for me. Had a great, you know what, who my mayor is? I'm going to take that back. Greg Bowe's my mayor.
Eagle's nest.
He really gets things done around here, and I love him. So, sorry, Adcocks. I had a great laugh on the double your penis size episode. Paul was eating a banana in the background, fucking hilarious. I didn't know Paul was eating a banana. I knew Charters was in the one segment of that show of Wheel of Filth, and it made me laugh so hard that he was just sitting there eating that banana because he kept just sticking it in the back of his throat and then pulling it out. Sticking it in the back of his throat and pulling it out. And I'm like, that is hilarious. You
Dirty bastard.
You dirty bastard. Anyways, had a great. Thank you for smoking. It's refreshing to see cigarette smoke in this day and age. Tobacco is part of our Norfolk County bloodlines. Fucking right it is.
Yeah, whoever this is, fucking A. This is the best.
You just got Michael Bow on board.
Yeah, I love you.
Yeah. She's on your team. He's on your team. The Aziz Ansari episode, my comment comes from attempting to date recently. Saying yes to going to a guy's house / hotel means implied consent. That's what this girl says. Consent. If you don't want to fuck him, don't go. Like, seriously. It reminds me of an old saying, if she's coming in, it's going in. Have you ever heard that?
No. That's a new one.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, this girl's really barking up a superfan chair seat so far in this episode. She's hitting all the buttons of we like her so far. The episode of why the bride is smiling while she walks down the aisle made me want to give you a different spin on things from my female perspective, which we enjoy at Life in the Dutch Hall because we are kind of a sausage party. To me, the smile would mean you can freely give blowjobs whenever you please. Which is true, but it's not a joke. Like when you're in your 20s, you're going to you're going to want to suck your husband's dick like right after the wedding's done, right? If you like sucking dick. Like if you're one of the girls that like sucking dick, you're going to want to suck your husband's dick. You're in your 20s or 30s or whatever. You just got married, it's romantic or whatever. Like that's the time to suck a dick. Like you're going to do that all the time when you're first newlyweds and it's all new to you. Whatever, you put everything in your mouth. Right? I don't know. I think that's what it says in the Bible. I haven't read the Bible, but I think it's in there. So anyways, where was I? It says, like the only reason I would ever get married. Hello, what were you guys thinking? Thanks for your entertainment. That's all I have to say for now. Keep up the good work. Laura Collins, everybody.
Whoa.
Laura Collins.
Thank you, Laura.
Paul, you know her? You know Laura, Paul?
I know Laura Collins.
Yeah, you go to, did she go to your high school?
Yeah, she is a Pine Grove girl.
Pine Grovian.
Born and raised.
I also got feedback on Facebook Messenger. Said, love the wrestling talk. I have to say, only the 80s wrestling for me. You guys had you guys mentioned some of the greats, but you missed some, like Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Awesome.
Yeah. You got to give him. His promos
Great call.
made no sense whatsoever. It was just nonsense of this, like, rambling idiot, right? But I loved him.
Off the top ropes. He
Yeah,
was
off
amazing.
the top ropes. No one was doing that back then. Everyone does it now. The British Bulldog,
Yeah,
Davey Boy Smith.
Yeah.
married one of the Hart women and became part of that, and then did a lot of steroids and eventually died from it. Bret the Hitman Hart, Canadian hero.
Screw job.
Yeah. The Ultimate Warrior, I never was a fan.
I was a huge fan.
Of the Warrior?
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah, I was a
His
huge- I was a
promos
huge
also.
fan.
Yeah, you too?
Yeah,
Brutus.
That was unbelievable. It's that Royal Rumble. They like turn to each other. Yeah.
That actually was my favorite Hulk Hogan match of all time, was him against Ultimate Warrior. Because that was the only one I got into, because I hate Hulk Hogan. And then he got beat by the Warrior too, right? Yeah. He's another guy. His promos make no sense.
No sense.
Sorry.
It's the
I was
best.
just doing some sort of sound bullshit.
I like when he goes into his like quiet voice.
Oh, yeah. It took him a few years to get to that.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
beginning, he just yelling.
He
and
was just yelling with steroids.
and cocaine.
Yeah. Lots of it.
Who else do you have here? Coco Beware.
Oh, nice.
Coco Beware and what about Bruce the Barber Beefcake?
Oh, Bruce the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah, the barbershop.
I'm pretty sure.
Barbershop, totally, yeah.
I don't know if this is what you can do, if you can do this on a podcast or not. But I'm going to say out there, I'm going to spread a rumor. I think him and Hulk Hogan were bum lovers. Is that? Do you think there's anything to that?
No, Hulk Hogan
He's all
was
man.
never bum lovers with anyone.
I don't know. I think they got suntans and Speedos together.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
From
Ricky
the
the,
Orient.
yeah. He's from Hawaii, I think.
Totally Hawaiian.
Also the
Is the
Orient.
Hawaiian in the
Also
Orient?
known as the Orient
Yeah.
of the East.
Hawaii, the Orient.
No, East.
Those names are part of my childhood. Keep up what you're doing. It's always fun to listen in my car going to work. From Lori Ball. Yeah, so
Thanks, Lori.
thank you very much. There's only one other guy that we need to listen to. He's our good friend of the show. He's here every week. He's our good buddy that hates to do work.
1, 2, 3. Hi-ho, it's off to bed we go.
I'll make you yak with my big sack.
Hi-ho, hi-ho.
So every week we get feedback on iTunes with our good friend the Haitian Dwarf. He's been with us since the very beginning. And this week is no exception. He gives us 5 stars. It says, this week's feedback is entitled, A Midget? Question mark? It says, I'll kick Wally Warwick's ass
And he should.
in a wrestling ring.
Whoa.
HD. No question.
He's ready to go.
That's one thing about Wally. I gotta tell you, this is good that HD brought this up because I've been meaning to brought this up in feedback. Wally was a very polarizing figure. I actually got messages from people saying, I thought he was great. You should have him back again. I like the energy he had at the beginning where he was hamming up to the camera, and I liked how he's knowledgeable on subject matter and stuff like that. And in the room that night, you can't really feel what the show's going to be like when you watch it back. And in the room, I felt like it wasn't going well. Right? That's what I felt like. Is that what you guys felt? It wasn't like it was a really, like everyone was real happy with their guest choice. Like that week, like it wasn't like a really comfortable mood. I was picking up on a lot of vibes, especially from my brother, of that things weren't going well. And so I expected no positive feedback at all. But then, to be fair, I couldn't. There was a ton of negative stuff too.
Oh.
Paul, you had one person today. I wonder if you can relate the message that he said.
He said, I got some feedback for you. Said your guest last week sucked. He didn't know when to shut up. Is what I got told. I don't think that's positive feedback.
No, that wasn't positive.
I said, I agree. Spot on. And he said, well, you could tell he got a text message from somebody. And then after that, he was all right. And the text message was from his wife saying, you're the worst guest ever. And she was spot on.
Yeah,
She nailed it.
Good wife.
Yeah, after the show, he goes, my wife thought I was really interrupting you guys a lot and I was ruining the show. And Paul's like, yeah, she got it. She nailed it. Your wife sounds really smart.
I wish your wife came instead of you.
Anyways, Wally apologized a million times. He felt the liquor got the best of him that night.
It will do
Rookie
that.
mistake.
He drank the host shot.
Yeah.
Where he drank my shot. These pepperettes are delicious, man.
Yeah, they're real good.
Oh, yeah, here.
Yeah,
made
we're
like
like a nice
4
hunk of
sitting over
hockolage.
Oh, nice snack, Steve.
Yeah.
Anyways, but there was a lot of people, both sides of of Wally, which I never had so much feedback in a week. It wasn't. It was. There was a lot of people with opinions, so it was. It was funny to listen to. I guess you have to think about that as a good thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to. That's it. That's it for this week. So this is my opportunity to talk to my good friend. He's been with here from the beginning. He's been here so many times. I always consider him our staple guest. Now, I think there's been a few guests that have maybe been nipping at his heels for the most times on.
Maybe, but I'll be here whenever you need me, fellas.
There you go. And this is everyone. I'd like to give you a big Dutch Hall round of applause for our guest today, Tyler Shazma.
Hey, get the man a jacket already.
Thanks for having me.
Even a robe.
No, I don't have a jacket for you, Shaz. Oh, a robe would be awesome. But I do. You are going to be getting something out of the Clean Flow prize closet tonight. We've never done this for a guest before.
Oh, shit.
You are the very first person
Here we go.
to be able to have his full pick of anything that exists within the Clean Flow prize closet.
Wow. Wow.
This is an honor that we have never given to a guest of Live from the Dutch Hall before. Shaz, you were the very first.
Where's the closet?
Yes. Woo!
It wasn't recorded. But anyways,
Well,
shit.
Thank you very much. I feel honored.
Well, you should. Now, Shaz, where can people see you coming up? Are you still doing stand up?
What kind of question is that? You don't just quit. I'm going to be at the London Yuck Yucks next Wednesday, January 31st for their armchair night. So I'll be there and then if you're in Toronto, I'm going to be at the Comedy Bar on February 9th for the Dirty North show ran by J.J. Lieberman. It's one of the filthiest shows in the country.
Oh, I love J.J.
Yeah, one of the best shows in the country, and it's 11 p.m. Comedy Bar, February 9th, Dirty North, and that'll be a fun, filthy time, so come check that out.
Oh, yeah. JJ is filthy.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite comics to watch. I've known that guy since I started. He started around the same time as me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
5-6 years ago. So JJ's a filth bag and everything else under the sun that I can't call him. But he's all those things, and it's going to be a filthy show. So I like doing those dirty ones. So I'll be in Toronto on February 9th.
He does a bit about getting his butt licked.
Yeah.
And I was like, because that's like so far removed from my point of view. Like I disagree with him in every sense of his joke, but it's still a funny joke, right?
Yeah.
But like, no way I would let a woman lick my behind.
Oh, really?
No, I'll tell you why, Shaz.
I would, and I have.
It's a disaster. What? I know. I appreciate that. I appreciate your confidence and allowing that to happen. Now, are you straight out of the bath? Give it a scrub.
On a good day, you should be, probably.
I would say you got to be straight out of the shower or something. Like, give it a good wash.
But hey, in the heats of passion, you don't care about germs or genitals,
Yeah. I agree with that 100%, but I don't want any woman to ever see my bumhole. I don't want her to see the bumhole. It's a disaster. It has...
Shut off the lights.
Oh, that's interesting.
Make her wear a blindfold.
Jane, you ever thought about licking a horny grape hanging out of someone's butt? Like a hairy, like a just a dirty grape. Did I say dirty grape? No. I have hemorrhoid problems. Thanks, hemorrhoids are my problem. It's a constant battle. My brother's got loads of money, but I got piles. That's an old man joke. Right? You ever heard that? I got piles. I'm here all week. Tip your wait status. Try the veal. That's an old one. So, Shaz, I want to talk to you. The thing about that I like about you is there's a lot of things, but mostly I like the fact that you're always cooking up something different. Like you are always legitimately in the intro. I mentioned that you are many things, but you've never. One thing I noticed about you never had a real job. Like you've always been since I've known you, doing a million different creative ventures at one time.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I've had a real job, and they suck too, right? So you gotta.
What was the last real job you had?
Last real job I had was probably I have a real job now. I own and operate my own videography company.
No, when you own your own company, it's not a real job. That's cool.
Okay, then I worked for a fucking crazy shoe salesman in Simcoe for a bit.
Oh.
That was fucking
That's a real job.
That was a dicey time, working shipping and receiving in Simcoe, fucking just hiding shoes all over that town. If you're living in Simcoe, there's shoes hidden all over that town, I'll tell you what. There's crazy crazy shoe sales
Yeah.
going on left and right that you don't fucking know about.
Yeah, no.
There's shoes hidden underneath places you don't know. I had to put them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in Simcoe with shoes.
Oh, if that guy sniffs out a deal, he's gonna take it. It doesn't matter if it's 18 truckloads of Basswegians.
Yeah, and
He's
I gotta
gonna-
fucking unload them.
Yeah, you unload them and you put them in the bunker.
Breaking my back, fucking unloading shoes, and I couldn't do that. So I
Doctor
got
says you
fuck
need a
out of there.
backiotomy.
Backiotomy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
It
real
was-
real jobs are not good. And when you're in the real job, it becomes clear to you quickly that you probably want to get out of there, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not for you personally, right? Like for Tyler Shazma, it's not your cup of tea to sit there and listen to some guy fulfill his shoe dream.
No, I can't. I can't work for other people. I can barely work for myself. So
Now, do you think that's something that's like there are like certain people that can do that stuff, like that they're like wired to do that, and other people that are not wired to do that, or do you think it's just your tolerance for it is less than others? You know?
yeah, I think it's tolerance. I think there's people that can put up with it for fucking 40 years and be like, I'm gonna bust my ass just because they can just get that paycheck. But when you quit thinking about paychecks, it's not that hard to live with a couple cans of soup, you know? So you just fucking do your own thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like I agree 100% with that, Shaz. Like if you were given the option to go and if you could do that same shoe job, but make like $200,000 a year, I'm putting a price tag on it. 200. That's a good living, man.
That's a lot for unloading shoe trucks
Yeah,
all day.
you're
Fucking-
unloading shoe trucks.
Those are some fancy Italian women's shoes.
Or you can do stand-up comedy for $50,000 a year. That's a pretty good deal too.
Yeah, that's a great deal too. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen either.
Yeah. Those are both things that don't happen.
Yeah.
Selling shoes for 200 or doing comedy for 50.
But I'd still do comedy. I do comedy for chicken wings.
Yeah. But you had to. Oh yeah. But you would give up the other one. No
Yeah.
longer available to you, so you could do comedy for chicken wings. Now, if I scale it back, so it's 125, same thing.
$100,000 for shoes.
For shoes, 25 for,
I'd still take comedy for 25.
and then 50 and 12.5.
Still take comedy every time.
Yeah.
I'm never touching another pair of shoes again. I went bare feet for 8 fucking months after I quit that job.
You couldn't even look at a lace.
Yeah, I was looking.
It was like Vietnam flashbacks if you looked at like a tongue of a shoe.
Yeah.
I agree. So Shaz, you do run your own business now. So does our super fan, Ashley LaPlante. She also runs her own business. Michael Bow runs his own business. Steve the Reluctant German. Would you consider yourself a business owner?
I'm on the edge.
On the edge, on the fringes. Kev Belanger, business owner.
Getting there.
Right? So a lot of people are in business, right? Paul Van Dyke, business owner. Right? So we got, sorry, Paul. I forget about you sometimes. Take it for granted. He's even got cards. He's even got cards going, Paul. I forgot about him being a master of industry. He's been looking at Dave's influence and trying to match your success, Dave. But you are not a business owner. You are a puppet of somebody else's plan.
Absolutely. I'm also not the director of Canada's only late night talk show.
No. You're merely the man that writes music for the show.
I'm fucking way better than you.
Yeah, he's a director. So, my point is, that's a hard one. Yeah, what were we talking about?
Jobs.
But
suck.
you have a job of your own. You're the business, so you have to deal with customers that are either like like people that are like you. Like we were talking about this on text the other day, where you're like people that are like you deal with people that you can just be yourself, let your guard down, you know, and just like enjoy the you're doing your work, but you don't have to like put on airs or like try to be like nice.
Well, yeah, that's why I try to work with comedians most of the time because I can just be myself.
But every once in a while, you got to pay the bills, and you got to work with people who are kind of like not your kind of people, right?
Like regular humans.
Regular, yeah, or like, and even you, Ashley, when you're like cutting hair, right?
Yeah.
You got to have some people that you're sitting there that have a person in your chair, and you're enjoying your whole time with them, right?
Absolutely.
And then other people, you're like, you got to deal with somebody, and you know as soon as they sit in there, like, this is not my kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to enjoy my time with them.
Yeah.
And then you give them a haircut like Pete's.
Yeah, so you can just give them a bad haircut.
Yeah. Is that what you do?
No.
Do you eventually?
Never.
You would never do that? But you wouldn't want to, like, you wouldn't care if that person came back or not, right? The one you didn't enjoy?
No, I wouldn't care.
But the one that you did enjoy, you would want that person to come back, right?
Absolutely.
And ideally, if you can start picking and choosing the way you live your life and how you build your business, you could eventually not deal with those dicks anymore and
That's
just deal with cool people.
Yep.
Think about how good that would be, you know? Imagine if you could sell tobacco, but just to cool people, Mike.
Yeah.
You could pick and
Great.
Hey,
choose.
only cool people buy tobacco, right?
I wish it was that way. Yeah.
Come on, that's the only marketing ploy tobacco's ever had. It's cool.
You're cool if you buy the tobacco. Yeah, I wish it was that easy. I wish it was just all fun and games. That'd be great.
If you could pick and choose and then have to deal with like because you have to take what's given to you.
Yeah, there's cool guys in the business that get it and get the day-to-day stuff, but then there's, the higher ups. I think that's in any business that just they're there for numbers. They don't understand what the fucking farmers are going through, so yeah, it's tough that way, but
that's the thing too. We were talking about last week fuck, I forget because of beer shit. We're at the end of the show anyways, but I want to do something fun. I want to do something fun to end the show.
What's that, Peter?
Well, it's about time.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's fun time.
So, why don't we do a quick round of Bang, Marry, Kill, because it's a fun thing to do. And we brought it up earlier in the show. We're going to have to do a little Bang, Marry, Kill, but we want to make this fun. We're going to have to make it good for everybody in the room. We're going to go with Bang, Marry, Kill, first one around, or we're going to go with world leaders. You have Justin Trudeau, Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Bang, Marry, Kill. In honor of Shazma's political...
He's such a...
I like
knowledge
that
man.
I'm
Such a
the
pundit.
political correspondent on this show.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
about
even
right.
know what politics means.
So Bang, Marry, Kill. Stephen, the reluctant German. First up, Bang, Marry, Kill. Trump, Trudeau, Putin.
All right. Am I answering all three? Blowing the whole load right here?
You got to go
Okay.
Bang, Marry, Kill. You have to
Okay, just making sure. I'm going to kill Putin because I don't want to fuck or marry him.
Oh, really?
And then I would have to marry Donald Trump because you don't actually have to have sex with Donald Trump to marry him.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have to fuck the Prime Minister of Canada. Because those are the rules of the game.
Yes. Next, I'm going to turn to our super fan because I think she needs to go home soon. She's sleeping at the bar.
Sleeping at the bar.
Ashley, Bang, Marry, Kill. You have to pick Trump, Trudeau, Putin. Sorry. Trump, Trudeau, Putin. Uh-oh, something's going on with this, Kev. Clickety-click, Barbara Trick. Trump, Trudeau, Putin. Paul. I'll let Ashley think about it until Paul makes his pick.
I'm making Trump my bitch. I'm fucking Trump.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm making Trump my bitch. I'm marrying Trudeau, and Putin's getting killed.
Putin's getting killed. Okay.
Russians.
We're going to wrap this up, I think, right about now. I'd like to thank everybody for listening live from the Dutch Hall. If you'd like to follow us on Facebook or whatever, follow us on Twitter or like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. We're gonna see you next week. Going to a one shot there. See you until next week. CUNT. See you next Thursday.